This is the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. Earning your living executing trades from the comfort of your home seems a lot more cool than most 9-to-5 gigs. Trouble is, if you don't know what you're doing, you can wreck your portfolio. But with our trading instructors, BK, Soto, and Mitchell, you'll learn how to day trade the futures market. Streaming daily, 9 to 11 a.m. Free. This is a free trading education channel. The Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge, where everybody is welcome. Get in the chat, ask us questions, learn. And now your instructors. This is BK, Soto, and Mitchell.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, September 18th. Thanks for checking us out and joining. Get started off every morning like we normally do with checking out the legal disclaimers. So I want to do that real quick. Just take the time to read those for a second. What those basically say is this is for educational purposes only. So don't take anything we do here as a trade recommendation, because that's not what it is. It's just what we do, and we trade the way we trade in our method here. So anything that you do, that you take full responsibility for. It was on your own terms and own actions, okay? So just basic legal disclaimer jargon there. So take a second to read those if you want to. That would be very much appreciated. Excuse me. Again, on the below, below this video here, there's a channel description. You can check that out if you like. It starts off with just a little bit about the auto trader, but then it gets into kind of what the stream's all about. And you know, it's a free channel, obviously, educational channel for teaching you our method of trading in the S&P 500, and any futures market actually. But we want this channel to be very positive, respectful, and kind of a stress-free and encouraging place to kind of come and learn the market. So come on in, welcome, ask questions in the chat. You know, there's no stupid questions here by any means. This is definitely a ask everything you can, and because we have both beginners and expert trader, or I shouldn't say expert, beginners and traders have been doing this for a very long time. So so please come on in, ask questions, and enjoy the chat, okay? But we do have some rules. Just be positive, you know. Don't be respectful. Be respectful. Don't put any negative comments into the chat or anything like that, because we'll take those out. So, but just be positive, man. We want this to be a great place for people to come and learn the markets. So if you like any of that, like our videos and subscribe to the channel. We should appreciate that. But with all that being said, you can kind of read more over it on your own below the video there. So that's about enough for the description at this point. So kind of sluggish this morning, so sorry about that. Had a late go last night, so kind of getting going this morning. Soto, are you there this morning?
I am, buddy. I am glad to be here. Thank you for having me. It's an honor, privilege. I look forward to this every day.
Well, that's good, man. That's really good. Yeah.
Unlike you, I can go to bed early before 8:30, so I'm good. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm kidding.
I got you.
You have so much going on, especially with the one kid that you have that apparently plays in every championship game there's ever been. So I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, dude, this kid, I'm glad he's not my age, because, oh my gosh, like, can you imagine our parents talking, right? Like, hey, what's the kid doing this weekend? I think Soto's going to the mall. What about your kid? What about your kid? Well, he's getting another ring this weekend, you know what I mean? So that competition will be really bad. So I'm glad we're not in the same age scenario here.
Well, your day's probably coming, and you'll have one of those doing the same thing every weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to send my kids to live with you. You need to train them and do all the stuff you need to do.
That would be awesome. I would do that for you.
I know, buddy. So,
yeah. Paul jumping in. So, hey, Paul, good morning. Glad you're here. as usual. Thank you. Go ahead, Sid. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to pull up your chart here on YouTube. Get that going. For some reason I have to wait until you have it loaded up before I can put it up on my end here. All right.
Yeah.
I gotta mute it. Yeah, there you go. We're good. We're good.
We're good.
All right. So this morning I learned something new. We have I took a trade this morning at the using the what was that 705 candle.
Okay.
I took a trade to go short. I got it in. I got my point. And then it came back and take me what do you say? I didn't do I did the trail thing, but I only got the the one tick. But then I looked at my commission, not the commission, the main screen here on NinjaTrader where the money's at. And it only showed $12.50, right? Gross profit. So I'm like, whoa, well, what happened to the 1 point, right? So what happened is price went all the way to 4 ticks, and it did the cash register thing. So that's what I think. I just assumed that I got my 1 point, because it happened real quick. But the one buy limit or the profit stop, didn't move to 80 ticks away. It was still there. So I was kind of confused in the process. It's happening really fast. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because it moved my point stop to 1 tick in profit. And so what happened is it went 4 ticks, and then which triggered the trailing, but I still haven't got a point.
Right.
So, anyways, I ended up only getting a tick.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, no big deal. Right. Yeah, sorry.
So it's probably So with that being said, it's probably better that you would put the your profit target at 5 ticks. That way it doesn't move your trailing stop until if that's what you want. See, I leave mine at 4 because I'm okay with that. But before because it happens a lot, it'll go 4 ticks and then it'll come all the way back and take you out for a tick, and then go on and go past your point, but it never got your full point because it didn't go 5 ticks, right?
Correct. Yeah. And that's how, we've always done it that way, right? 4 tick profit, but it needs to really get past the 4 to get your point. Right. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm okay with that. It was just that it was confusing because the cash register went in, so I'm screaming, running around, celebrating for my point. I come back, and I only made a tick. So, no big deal. But no, it was just the first time that's ever happened to me.
Okay, I got you.
Which tells me, which tells me I was, was like I said, I would have had this now. Even if I didn't have the 1 point stop, I would have not made my point either way. So I think it was not a good, not the best trade, right?
Well, it looks like it was a great trade. I mean, you got in. Did you get in at 735?
Say it again.
Well, you said your zone was 705. Your entry would have been at the 735, correct?
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on a second.
Because that thing rejected and came down nicely, so.
Yeah. I entered in at the 845.
Oh, okay. I thought you entered in at 735. Okay, now you entered at 845. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, 45. Yeah.
Okay.
845. So, yeah. 845. So, like right now, okay, sorry, I'm in a trade right now. I just got my point. And now I'm trailing this current trade right here. And now I'm at a 0.25. So I already got my point locked in.
Okay, good. Nice.
I entered in, now I got a 0.25. So I don't think this is going to go down too much. but I'm okay right now because I already got, I'm up for the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to see if this, that's a good, actually that was a good candle, it's very strong. I'm willing to stay here and, only take a tick of, or additional tick of earnings. I'm not going to move my stop, but,
And that's on your second position because you've already taken out 1 full point on your first position, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah. This is second. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have locked it in.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This position I was in at at 5.0. So I'm not going to say 30.05.0.
Okay, so you front run the zone is what you did. You front run price. Okay.
Yes, on the and I was using the zone that was from the A 450.
Yeah, that's what I got marked up. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'm front running, and right now I'm at 0.75 profit on my second option. So now I'm a point profit. I think this is going to go down some here.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of resistance there around the 3.5 price. So let's see if we can break that. It's still early, so like you said, I don't think we're going to have a lot of strong push. But like I said, I've already locked in my points for the week. I'm good on the week, so I'm okay only getting a point and a quarter here, if that's what happens. Unless you disagree and I need to lock this in right now. So
No. I think your logic is 100% correct. I mean, you've had a really good week. You're way up on point wise so far, and it's only halfway through the week, so that's great. So now you're just gonna get good entries. You still make great entries. That's our big deal, making right entries, 1 point stops, and then you let price do what it's going to do, which is what you're allowing to happen. You're not trying to chase price and lock in every tick because you want to crowd price to try to catch all you can. You're going to let it run a little bit. So you're doing the right thing. You're already up a point now, 1.5 points, or whatever it is as far as locked in. So just let it do what it wants to do at this point. Let it kind of breathe. And if it wants to run back down to these lows, then great. You're in it for the ride. And if not, then no biggie deal. You've got your point, and you're good to go for the next entry. So I think your thought process is 100% correct. So.
Sweet. Yeah, and it's been a struggle getting past. It's struggled to get past the 30.04 price. It really struggled. You got a double bottom there. And now you got potential double bottom at the current candle and the 910 candle, right? So again, this is the most promising running scenario, like we talked about.
Right.
So
but you never know. That's the thing about price. You don't know what's going to happen. You can make judgments based on price action and but you just never know when that thing's going to take off and do what you didn't expect it to do. So.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason it's important to lock in that tick, lock in that first point with that first contract, and then lock in that second contract for 1 tick, and then you just you can breathe easy at that point and let price do what it wants to do. So good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to be clear, on my first entry at 8:45, it went down 4 ticks, so I didn't get my point. But I did lock in the 1 tick because it moved my stop, so it took me out before it never broke the 4 ticks. So I only made 12.50, right?
Yeah, but let's look at it this way too, which is good, which is great. But that trade, like you said, never went past 4 ticks, so it ended up being a loss for you. But because of the trailing stop, moved you in to plus 1 tick, you guaranteed 1 tick of profit, which was good.
Yes, I 100% on that. Yes, because I would, like you said, obviously price went. Okay, now I'm out of the trade, so I'm done with that. Okay. So right now, to me, it's easier to talk money here. Well, it has fees, but I'm just going to give you the gross. I got $75 right now.
Okay, that's good. So point and a half.
So I got a point and a half because of the 1 tick stop and the 1 tick stop. Profit, and then the 1 point I made. So 1.5 points in.
Good job. That's great, man. Good job.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, and like I said, I think I should have probably gone at the on the 845 candle. I should have gone probably a little higher. I expected it to go to at least 4.5, 30 or 4.5. So that's why I went one tick in because I wanted to get into the trade. Unfortunately, it didn't go past 4 ticks, so that cost me. It was not the best trade, I guess. So. But again, we locked in the 1 tick, and at least I broke, positive at the quarter.
After
and then,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And so then I waited, and I entered. Let's see here. Point. That's when I went at 30.05. So.
Yeah, nice. That was a good trade.
Yeah, good.
All right.
What do you got going?
Well, I'm reading the chat here. Paul says, "Can you explain front running a trade?" Yeah, we can do that. Soto, you want to take a crack at it?
Yeah, I'd like to. I always start so I can say the most obvious and basic stuff, and you'll come in and be like, "Yeah, that's good, not bad." No, let's see what's really happening.
That's not true. You do a good job, man.
Thanks. All right. Paul. So let's just use this example here at the 705 candle. Okay, we have the high of that. We have that as a supply zone. Okay, just like any supply zone or any demand zone, we go from the wick high to the wick low, and this being a half doji, we go from the 3004.25 to the high of that doji, which is 3005.0. All right, so our trade will be typically within that area, right? We would decide based on previous price action and support and resistance within that zone where to place our trade, based on opening touches and wicks high or low and closes and all that good stuff. Front running a trade is, again, if we were to use this as a supply zone, is prior to price coming into our zone, we will go outside of our zone for a trade, typically 1 tick outside, below, in this case, below the 3004.25 zone price. We'll go 1 tick into closer to price at for a flat, so 3004.0 to where we are expecting price to come and touch the bottom of our zone, but then reject from it because there's some money sitting at the baseline at a supply zone in this case. And so in order for us to get into the trade, right, we need to be 1 tick in. So therefore we're going 1 tick out of our zone to try to guarantee what we think is going to happen is that's going to touch the base of that supply and then go ahead and go the other way. So to go short. And vice versa is true for a demand zone, right? We'll go 1 tick above the zone on a demand zone, expecting the price to go to the very top of the zone and then turn around and go long. So when we say front running it, we're jumping outside of our zone, typically 1 tick, so we can get 1 tick in. We're expecting them to go to the very bottom top of the zone and then be into the trade. Is that
good job? Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, good job. Yeah. So I drew it up here on the YouTube channel, on the live stream chart, your example here, and on the I drew the 750 candle or the 705 candle, and then what I did from there, I drew the box, our zone, and what I did is I put an orange line where you front run at 304 even. So, because the trade, like you said, the bottom of the box goes to 304.25, but the front run you had to go to 1 tick in front, okay, which is what it's as simple as that. It's called front running. So you're front running an area of price that you deemed as a good area of supply and demand, just because you're going to usually get when you got a good area of supply and demand that meets all the rules, you're usually going to get a good bounce right away off that entry of that zone. So to catch that, like Soto said, you want to put your entry 1 tick in front of that box to catch that quick bounce off of that first entry into that zone. So that's what front running is, simply as that. So Soto's did a great job explaining that. But that's what that is, and you'll find that the more you start making good zones and building good zones, the more you're going to see front running to become part of your trade, a tool pouch, so to speak, because of the fact that you're going to see a lot of rejection, even on the current zone we have drawn there that's already been rejected. It went one tick into that and then dropped. So if you front ran that, you would have only had 2 ticks of heat, but you would have got your point very quickly. And that's kind of the point here, is to see that and do that and recognize that in real time. And you can usually decide to front run a zone based on what's happened in the previous to the left side of the chart, to the left side of price at all times. You can kind of see what's happened in that zone, and if there's been a lot of rejection, open and closes at the front part of that zone, if you're on for supply side, then you would be, it's a pretty good indication that it's going to bounce pretty quick again. So you can kind of front run that to kind of guarantee yourself to get into the trade and have an opportunity to get that 1 point. So very nice, good explanation, Soto. Paul says that makes sense, so you did good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now we're just kind of being patient. You got any more zones drawn up at this point, Soto?
No, I got some up north. I think they're from, let's see. They may be from yesterday, and they may have already been triggered. Sorry, I jumped in this morning and I saw those 2 zones back to back, which always makes me a little nervous. But I figured, volume stays low, they're not going to break through that first zone right away. Even though technically it was already triggered at the, we saw it was already triggered. But, my Ninja Soto senses told me that I was okay trading there.
Well, your Ninja Soto senses are good right now, so that's great. That's funny.
But kind of going back to what you've always said, if you're confident with your trade and that's where you want to go and you're okay with it, you got to be okay at losing there. And so I'm okay taking that risk, because that's what it is. It's a risk. Anytime you trade, it's a risk. But I took a calculated risk that I thought would be a high probability to win. So
good. That's it. It's all about probabilities, man. It's all about high calculated probabilities, like you said.
Oh yeah, man, dude. In college, bro, I will ask every weekend 40 girls out. Probability-wise, why would say yes?
That's perfect. I like it. That's the perfect analogy, man. Good job.
That's actually this is a true story. That's my friend, my best Josh. Not to say his name, Josh. Said told me that one day where he's married, beautiful wife, beautiful. He has 3 beautiful little girls, and but we're out at Dram whiskey bar. And he was like, yeah, man, in college, he said he'll ask like 12 girls every weekend out. And he's like, probability-wise, one would say yes. And he's, he's not like a, he's a tall guy, real skinny, but he's not like, the best-looking guy, but he's not horrible, but he's kind of really funny. He's like a nerd, your typical. He looks like Shelton from, the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And I'm like laughing because he's like so introverted, and he's an extremely smart guy. So I'm like, you asked how many girls out every weekend? He said, yeah, man, I needed to get my chances up. So, but thankfully, kind of a beautiful wife that so awesome and understanding. She lets us do whatever we want when we're over at the house. So. Great. He's
good.
Kind of well.
That's good. It's all about occurrences, man.
I laughed so hard when he said that. I was like, yes. So that's good. Worst thing that can happen is to reject you, right? They say no, thank you.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that can happen. That's right.
All right, let's see. So no, to answer your question, I don't have any. I mean, I got one, the price between 3009.75 to 3011. I'm trying to find a good candle for that. And it may be, I think, old. I may have to remove it. I think it's probably already triggered. minutes. Let me figure out this. Do you have any other zones there?
I've got a zone, one to the downside of a demand zone. I've got one of those drawn up, but
what price? I got one that was triggered yesterday from 29.98 to 29.97.
okay, no, my zone. Let's see.
But that was the one that we it's blue, so that means it was triggered. So I'm going to delete that.
The zone I have this morning is from yesterday, about 1300 candle, 1305 candle. There's a doji there as well as a
oh, sorry, sorry, you're from last night. 13 what?
1300, 1305. Those 2 candles there. So that's going to be a 99.25 all the way and a 98.25. So that's a point there zone. 98.25 to 99.25.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a demand zone that's sitting there to be played. You gotta wait, just wait for the price to get down in there.
Okay. Yeah. What about? I think it's already been triggered. The 1520 candle.
Yeah.
That was already triggered.
Yeah, it's already triggered.
All right.
Actually pushed through it a little bit.
Okay, they must have gone down to the a bit 1430 candle.
They did, yeah. That's where that's where price bounced at 300 and a quarter or 3,000 and a quarter. That's where price bounced out of there. So we got our next area of support demand area is going to be at the 99 and a quarter down to 98 and a quarter.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting trade because we're gonna see some hesitation there when it comes down to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take a little more juice to break through it. You can almost argue you have a little. I guess the 1310 candle can or even the 1315 candle could be the zone. I think you're right. The better one in the safe choice would be the 1305, right? That price come to you, right?
Right. That's what I would be doing. But because of those 2 candles that you see there, that you're pointing out the price action there, that would tell me it might be a good opportunity to front run price right here at this zone. You know,
I've already considered that.
So we'll just kind of watch that.
I like front running it. I do it.
Don't surprise me.
I don't know why. What does that mean? It doesn't surprise you. What does that mean?
I think you're just a little more aggressive trader. You know, your personality's a little more aggressive, which is great. You know, that's what I told you from day one. Everybody's personality is a little bit different, so everybody's going to be a little more aggressive. Even though we're looking in the same zones, something sticks out to you a little bit differently because of your aggressiveness. You know, which is fine. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about trading. But in this scenario, though, I do believe that front running might be the best thing at 99.5. But we got to wait until price gets to that area and watch price action. But but yeah, I think that might be a good one to front run for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
So other than that, we're kind of just chilling out, waiting. I already had trades this morning. Soto did for zones and made a point and a half, which was great. So as far as the individual on the spreadsheet goes, we'll put that on there this afternoon, or before we close out the live stream here. So we've already got that point, which is good. So that's great. So now we can kind of just sit back and wait on these prices to come to us into our areas of opportunity. And got market opening up about 45 seconds, so we should see some action pretty soon here. So we're just going to be patient and wait for new zones to be formed or old zones to be triggered.
How much, thank you, BK, how much does the Iranian attack on Saudi Arabia oil, which allegedly, we want to say Iran, okay, has an effect on us trading, on the way we do it here? Anything we need to worry about? Prices is not going to increase. Oil prices not going to increase as much as they originally expected, to increase by a quarter, because Saudi Arabia has already got made up the a lot of the laws. So and we have our own production of oil. More than we actually make more now than Saudi Arabia does to the U.S. Regarding imports. So how much effect does that play in our game here?
Well, it's not. It doesn't. From a macro standpoint, we see some movement, but it's for what we do here, it's not going to affect us. I mean, we're going to look. We want the volatility anyway, and what you'll find out, even when events happen around the world, it's amazing how price still tends to go to these areas and bounce from our areas. So it's not like we're just getting blindsided, and the whole thing goes out the window. That's the whole method goes out the window because of something happened around the world. That's not how it happens. It will still go to an area of we've already deemed a good area of demand or supply or demand, which is cool. So, so not too worried about any of that. We'll watch it. But we do have a lot of news today. Just so you're aware, at 10:30 we had crude oil inventories. And then not again anything until 2 o'clock. At that, we have a bunch of Fed stuff going on. So we'll see. At 10:30, we're going to see some movement for sure. With the inventories report coming out. But I got a feeling we might already have our trade in by that point in time anyway. But just be aware.
Okay, so technically we do already got our trade in, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For the individual, you've done it. You've made the trade at that point. But now we got a good day. I've got a good supply zone 9 and 925 there, so I'll go ahead and mark that up.
Yeah.
So we'll get that marked up in advance there.
Yeah. Very good zone there. I like it.
And what constitutes a zone, just in case you're checking us out, just now joining us and haven't had a chance to kind of watch some of the methodology videos on in the channel. We have really good price action moving out of a certain area. So what we like to do is kind of backtrack price and find out where the originating candle was that price took off from. And if it breaks a previous swing low, then in this scenario here, it constitutes a good supply, along with having a body that's 50% or less of the entire candle. In this case, it becomes a dojo. And it pushed off hard on these two current candles. It pushed off pretty strong. So that tells us there's a lot of supply right there. Even though this market open, a lot of sellers went short there from retail guys. So we'll go ahead and mark that zone and know that's just market open there. But it's a good zone to trade out of. Same way with demand zone. So we've got a good push down here. We're kind of getting close to that demand area, sort of. Are you going to front run this or what?
Dude, I'm already there, bro. Yes, sir. I am at 29.99.5. It touched me, but it didn't pick me up. So now I think that forces me to go deeper into the zone. I think so. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go right at 29.25 or 299.25 just to be safe here, and let's see if it can tick me in. Because that whole zone's only 1 point, so I'm looking for it to go down there and tick me in and get out, and then take me my 1 point. But we'll watch and see. It's always market open, so we gotta be careful. I like the long stretch candle there. I'm looking for that thing to breathe a little bit, but tick me in before it does, and retrace it a little bit. And I'd like it to come down and take me in and then retrace back. But we'll see if it happens. But it did touch our front run zone, but it didn't trigger us in, so it's a good sign at that point to back off of that zone a little bit, because it's already grabbed price at that point, so let it come a little lower.
Absolutely, yeah. So it did touch us, like you said, at the we were one tick. I went one tick outside the zone. In this case, closer to price at 29.95. And I think that's a good learning opportunity. Is if it touched you but it didn't pick you up and gives you that big rejection, which it did, where you would have made your point had it picked you up, but it didn't. Go a little deeper into the zone, just because the more likely to come back and go deeper into the zone to pick up the additional contract sitting there, like you just mentioned. So
absolutely.
And what you don't want to do here is, and thankfully I've never done this. I've thought about it, never done it. Is okay. Oh man, they're rejecting off that area. Let me jump into the price. Let me jump into the trade and move your price, to get ticked in. You don't want to do that. So that's Shade's price, right?
Right.
So, even though it's real tempting because you're right there, they didn't pick you up. You're like, oh man, but they'll just let them come to you, and you'll be all right.
Yep. I'm gonna drop down to 99 even.
That's where I'm sitting right now. I'm at 20.99 flat.
Yeah, we'll kind of see if we can come deeper into that zone and grab us with this formation of this candle here. So we'll see. It might bounce off and leave us, and that's okay. It's early anyway. I'm not trying to take the very first trade. I mean, I'm not trying to rush to take every trade I can get. I know price is going to give us opportunity down the road as well, so I'm not just rushing. So I'm going to let price come to me and be patient for that.
Yep, so right now we got a double bottom there. So again, we would have not been in the trade. Most likely we would have not been picked up anyways.
Right.
And again, we expect a lot of rejection from this area, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
All right, good rejection there, but no gain yet. Just to let you know, we're sitting at 99 flat, 29.99.
Order filled.
All right, I moved my trade down, by the way, to 29.98.75.
Did you? Okay. Yeah.
Then,
It might be a good spot you did that, because it might just push right through it.
Stop
and
filled.
it did.
Push right
Yep.
through. Yeah.
It did. That's all right. All right. Just got a text message. Mitchell's ready when you are.
Mitchell's ready. All right. Let me full price in here. All right. So bounced right there. So where's the next opportunity here? Start looking for next opportunities once the zone's been blown and we've taken. We'll look for another opportunity.
Yep, I lost by one tick. One tick.
Yeah, I got you on one tick. Yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling it, and I just moved it last second, which didn't make a difference at the end. But I hate, I think I need to start trusting my feelings more. I had a feeling that I needed to either go deeper into the zone or remove my trade.
Yeah.
It was everything was telling me that, but I'm kind of like, okay, I needed to just trust myself. So I did move it one tick below. I moved it to 29.98.2. 29.98.75. Not enough. I should have just moved it even, one or two tickets below, which is what I wanted to do, or even remove the trade. And but again, that's after the fact. But I should have just trusted my instincts at the time.
And I think we both had the feeling there because because the price was taking too long. It was kind of heavy, but it wasn't just pushing through. But you kind of expected because it was sitting there. Price was heavy to the downside. It was just sitting there. It was gaining up momentum to blow through, and that's what happened exactly.
That's exactly what happened.
So that's kind of the intuition there. We kind of have to zone in on here. But let me let me go ahead and pull Mitchell in here real quick. Hey, what's up, man?
Not much.
All right, Soto, you there?
Soda?
Hey. Morning, guys.
Morning, brother. How are you?
Doing well, buddy.
You make a smoothie?
I am not quite, but yeah, I'm already done with the apple part of the breakfast there. So.
Were you in college? I thought about this yesterday. When you were in college, did you eat a lot in class?
It's funny.
You were a class eater, weren't you?
I was only like in one class, and it was always like I had every class stacked. Like I went from 8 o'clock, I think it was 8 o'clock, 8:15, whatever time class started, until like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock every day. So it was like nonstop. I didn't have a lunchtime, right? And then I would have like labs, you know, in the afternoon, like chemistry lab or whatever, bio lab. And then I worked in the cadaver room. And then, you know, in the cadaver room, you can't really eat there. I've tried it, but the smell from the cadavers kind of stick to the food. And so everything you taste, it just tastes like the cadaver, right? So I had to eat during one of my classes. So I did eat in one of my classes. But you know, that's cool. That's you know, that's what happens. But my teachers were cool with it. They were cool with it. So,
right. Yeah. No, it was really acceptable where I was, but I just always seemed to sit next to the person like eating a full Subway footlong sandwich.
Oh no! Whoa! Okay, now I didn't eat that good. No, I would eat like my friends. I have some of these girls. They will bring me food. So I would go in and they would just give me like the sack of lunch, you know, they prepare for me. They made some homemade cookies and or whatever. So it was stuff like that. Yeah, no, I never ate like a full course meal. So because I think that's rude. But I think it's okay to eat cookies and whatever. But you know, I'm not gonna eat a double Whopper in front of you. You're over there starving. Yeah. So. Yeah. I gotta be sure to tell you here in a minute. I'll tell you once we get settled in about the. I think I told BK about the homeless story at Sanford. That it's a classic. But, so we just took the trade in. We took a trade at 2998.75, or I did, and I think BK you were.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. And we lost by a tick or two there. Which I won't be surprised if they come back to this area and actually respect it this time. But again, what do you think, BK?
Yeah, I mean they could absolutely, but I'm not gonna trade it right there. But well, I might. I shouldn't say that. But yeah, I think they could definitely come back, find some ground there, and then continue with that long wick rejection there. They can come back in there and find some price for sure. So we'll watch it. We'll keep it marked up on the chart just for the heck of it. I took it off, but I'll remark it.
So I made 1.5 this morning, and then I just lost one. So half a point in the profit right now. But overall for the week, I'm good. I feel good. So I'm all right.
Yeah, you had a good deal. Good day yesterday.
Yeah, sure did. And this morning, I was telling BK, I traded at, I had two trades this morning. I was, by the way, I don't know if you have this marked up. Do you have your 925 candle there for a supply?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So prior to that, I was using the 705 candle.
Right.
I traded to go short at 8:45 this morning, and so this is interesting. So this is something we haven't dealt with this, Mitchell. Is so life is looking good. I'm in the trade, and I heard the cash register, boom boom, and so that means I got my point, right? So what that actually means is that the stop moved. They moved the stop loss into one tick into profit. So it went 4 ticks, so I didn't get my point, right? Because it needs to go to the 5th tick to lock in those 4 ticks. But it still moved my profit stop to 1 tick into profit. Does that make sense? So I didn't.
Yeah, I actually had that happen to me the other day, but I didn't know what was going on. I thought I had maybe my strategy set up wrong, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I thought I'd gotten a point, and I looked at my actual my account screen or whatever, and it hadn't given it to me yet. Like it was still bouncing around, and I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Right. So that's exactly what happened to me. So I ended up only making locking in that 1 tick, which is good because it never went past 4 ticks, which means like BK mentioned, I would have actually lost because price actually went up after that. And then my second trade, I took it up. There's a candle at the 450 candle. That was another zone for supply. and that's when I took my second trade. And I got my point at 9 o'clock. Got my point at 9:10. So it just took a couple candles to get there. That's when I did get my point. I got my full point there, and that was good. So, and then I locked in at 1.
Hang on, I'm gonna mute for just a second, guys.
All right, guys.
So I said I'm going in at, I got an order at $29.99 and a quarter, kind of back at that zone again.
I just placed an order there.
Yeah, based on that volume and all that wick right there.
Yeah.
Order filled.
Yep, Brandon.
So let's just see if it can kind of give us that point back here that we lost. If it'll give us a bounce, but I don't.
Y'all are going back 29875.
Yeah, I think that's a better trade. But we were in at, I'm in at 99 and a quarter, but
99.
I don't know if it's gonna.
I'm going 75, or I'm going 50 to be just for safe measure.
Yeah.
298, 50. And I probably won't get in, but if I do get in, I hopefully can take a little more heat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's good because this candle was looking better before it got me in. So, but I'm
literally, it was like perfect until it picked us up and then it went rogue.
Yeah. So we needed to bounce out of here a little bit.
I think y'all are going to get it. It seems to be pushing up pretty hard right here.
Yeah.
See, that's nasty.
Yeah. But we're seeing if it's going to respect that zone now that it blew through earlier, and that's kind of the hope that with all that rejection on that big wick there, that it goes ahead and finds rejection in support out of that zone based off that large wick, So we'll see. If not, then that's what it is, man.
I got so many points this week, dude. I can lose like the next 100. I'll be just fine. Just kidding, guys.
No, sorry, I had to mute. One of my guys came in here. There's some work drama going on. He's 76, built like a tank. I mean, I wouldn't fight this man. He is thick, got hands like a bear. And this young guy that we just hired on or whatever, they got to scrap it yesterday. And I guess the young guy said that he was going to, kick his A. Tommy said, well, you better pack a lunch, young gun. We'll be here a long time.
That's funny.
Made me laugh. So he's coming here to apologize to you. I was like, I don't care. Just don't actually fight him.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking the other day, the only manly thing I do is eat steak. You know how people say, oh man, that's a family steak? That's the only manly thing I can do. That's it. There's nothing else going for me. So I abhor looking at older men who are like they can whoop me and they're like 80 years old. Like you just said, this guy was 76. It's like
he's stout though. I've never met another 76-year-old with muscle tone like this guy. I mean, he's 6'5", probably 265 pounds. I mean,
that's a big boy.
Yeah, and I mean, at 76, you know what I mean? He hasn't lost anything. He drives a motorcycle, pulls his camper all over the country. I mean, he hasn't slowed down. His wife's 50, so she keeps him young.
Yeah, I
guess. Keeps him young. That's good.
He tells everybody he's 56.
Yeah. Well, he is 56. His body's 56.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. That's awesome.
He was one of the unfortunate ones. He was retired. I feel so bad for him. He was pretty high up with GM. And when they did their pension cuts, his pension went away. It went from whatever it was to 28% of what he was getting.
Wow.
I never really, I read that story. I was in college when that happened. And you put it out of your mind until you meet someone that's been affected by it, and then you're like, man, that is so terrible that happened.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have seen some rejection out of this area, right? We were just a little too close to Bryce. We would have made our point had we gone a little deeper into the zone.
Did y'all get busted?
No. Yeah, we're still in the trade. I think I'm just talking out loud for the viewers. I think it was a good trade, meaning that we took the trade. I think it was good. I think we just went a little too close to prize. BK, what do you?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously it looks that way now, but that's fine, I'd rather have been deeper, and if I could have got it, but I didn't, so.
I'm pulling my trade, and I'm not doing that because
I
I want to be here with y'all, but with it wicking up, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't get into it at this point, but I'm in it, so we'll see what's going to happen, but.
I do wish y'all the best, though.
Well, thank you.
We're not dying. We're not going to the doctor to get diagnosed. Wish you guys the best, man. Good luck.
If you go negative 5.75 today, like you went positive yesterday, I will be worried about you. You'll be upset, trust me. So that's why I'm just saying I'm here with you.
I know, buddy. I'm messing around.
If you need any support.
Hey, I am settled. I'm going to go ahead and move one tick into profit here.
Stop.
I just got taken out. But I don't like that, man. It's sitting too long.
Yeah, I actually just closed it myself, so I got
one tick out of it.
We got a tick. Yeah, exactly what happened here. Yeah, I was about to ask you the same thing, and as soon as you said that, I pressed close. Just because, like you said, we expected, come on, it went up to 0.75, it didn't break. It doesn't look like it's going to break anytime soon, so let's take the tick walk.
Yep. That's the first time you've closed a position early.
That's it, yeah. That's the first time I did it, and I just did it like because you said, you're in the process of talking and saying, and I was like, okay, I know what he's thinking. And like I said, we want to get our point quick, and
Yeah, if it's taking a while, then it's time to. That's a sign. Get out, man.
We're in the positive, so let's, and the way the wick started, so it went up first rise. I expected it to go down from here.
Right.
So let's just walk in with a tick or two, and we're good for the day. So we're doing good.
Let's see here. Again, we got crude oil inventories at 10:30, so might just be kind of quiet until that point. I'm not sure.
I just got off the phone with Saudi Arabia. Their oil production looks good.
Does it look good? Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. But even though it has nothing to do with us, but that's good.
Oh yeah, I'm also doing. I can't just do this, guys. I'm also doing some other stuff in another market here. So yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Sorry, guys. I don't know why I have to say stuff like that. There's people out there like that, right? They're always they have to be like top dog. Like, hey guys, I just got off the phone with Australia. It looks like the price of kangaroo meat is going to go up. Like, what?
I feed my dog kangaroo meat.
Have you never had it?
No, man, I've never eaten a kangaroo.
Why? You have not lived, my friend.
First of all, they don't have that in Whole Foods.
You're looking at the wrong section, buddy.
You ever had any kangaroo, Brian?
No, I've not.
I never. By the way, I've never had it either. So, yeah.
But my dog eats kangaroo.
Huh.
I've actually
Where
eaten
do you
dog.
get
There's this pet store in Hartselle that sells kangaroo food, and it works well with his allergies. Man, a lot of his allergies are food-based, so he switches off between salmon and kangaroo. Sounds crazy, but it's better. He'll break out with hives. Man. It's insane.
Huh.
You know, hives is a real thing, guys. Just want to let you guys know.
We've known that, so.
I just never believed anyone has ever had any allergies until I experienced them. Like, man, just suck it up. I'm dying over here.
That's how I feel.
That's exactly right. He doesn't believe things exist until he has it personally
Wait,
experienced.
I know, right? Oh man, this is for real, guys.
Even though the
Or
rest
like
of the population in the world deals with it, it doesn't exist
Right.
until he has to.
I got a buddy that's allergic to peanuts that'll prove to you that allergies are real. He'll lock up and start flopping.
Oh man. Yeah. Peanuts, man. I'm glad I'm not allergic to peanuts, but I was with this guy. He was extremely allergic to peanuts. He came from being like with a toothpick of peanuts, and he's never been to Five Guys. And of course, I forgot. And so I'm like, hey man, you hungry? I'm like, yeah. Like, hey, let's go to Five Guys. Oh, I've never been. It's good. I'm like, oh, it's the best. So we go to Five Guys. We walk in. He looks at me. He's like, really? There's peanuts everywhere. And I'm like, oh yeah, man. I'm sorry. Do you want to go outside and like wait?
And they cook with peanut oil.
They do. They do. They sure do.
Trying to kill your buddy, man. Golly, what's the deal?
You know, if
They
you
used to get
have
around, man.
my little nephew, it's allergic to milk, milk. I think it's milk or whatever. And I'm like, great. You can't be drinking milk around this guy. This guy goes down. Like at this point, you're questioning everything about life, right? So, like, really, if this glass of milk can kill you, I don't know how long we're going to be able to make it, buddy. But no, I'm sure he'll grow out of it. So.
Yeah, milk you normally grow out of pretty easy.
Yeah.
Peanuts are hit or miss. You can grow out of them. I got a couple friends that were really allergic when they were kids, and they're not anymore. But I still have a lot of grown friends that are really allergic to nuts.
Yeah. Man.
Peanut's not even a nut, but it's the most common nut allergy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a, what do you call it, a legume? It's not a
Yeah, whatever.
whatever. Yeah. It's pretty much a bean.
Yeah. Your dog's allergic to grass. I feel that.
He's allergic to grass. He's allergic to grain. He's allergic to anything with feathers. So chicken.
Stop it, dude. Stop. Are you serious?
But I've already kind of bonded with him, so I couldn't just be like, well, bud, you're on your own.
Right. You're out, buddy.
We're going to let natural selection take place.
That's right.
But no, I was like, well, I'll buy your kangaroo food.
I will spend $3,000 on food on you, buddy. So real quick on the 955 candle there, I like it that we were going back to the zone. We have a good zone there. Sometimes we'll see price not respect zone, but they come back and expect it, and they respect it right to the dot, right to the tick. So again, we were just unfortunately a little too high in our entry, our second entry. But again, just confirming that we had the right, in this case, demand zone. We got to push out here. So, I think it's a moral victory, emotional victory there. You got to take everything you can at this point.
Absolutely.
So there's this, over here where I'm at, there's this dog, a cool little dog, and he's a good dog. But he's a little guy. He's not the guy you want to go to war with, right? He's just more like an American dog. He can't survive in any other country. But it's a great dog. I like him, and his name is Charlie. And so we're hanging out yesterday. And he starts doing like flips. He's like running to the door, running to me, running to the door, running to me, like doing, turns and giving me every signal there is. And I'm not realizing what's going on. I'm just kind of like on my phone. And I'm like, hey, buddy, yeah, we'll go play later. And apparently he needed to go urinate.
Order pending.
That's usually what they do.
He's like, he's a good dog. So he didn't urinate in here, thankfully. But he's like literally grabbing me and trying to like push me to the door. And everything he could possibly do. So I'm like, oh, I think you need to go outside. Let's go. Yeah. He like ran to the bushes and urinated. I was like, all right, that's your sign for urination. Good. Next time you gotta speak up, buddy.
I didn't know you had a dog.
It's not my dog. It's my neighbor's dog, if you would.
You just lock him up in your house all the time.
No, he likes me. He comes and hangs out. It's totally cool and safe, So
they've got missing posters all around.
Order canceled.
We haven't seen him in the thing.
Little Johnny's sad because his cat missing.
That is missing in an act. Oh, that's good. That's classic. That's good.
I was telling my dad about some of our conversations yesterday. He said that they would tell you what you're supposed to do if it gets too cold and you're camping somewhere.
All right. We all laugh, but my friend Stephen, who is now alive because of us, because of me, has a beautiful wife and two wonderful kids. So yeah, you're welcome, people. Survival mode,
I would have to have multiple extremities starting to get straight frostbite and falling off before that happened.
Okay. We were, so Steven, who I love, unfortunately, he grew up with 11 siblings. And so, when he has camping equipment, it's not only from like the 1912s, but it's also like really cheap camping equipment. So, we're doing some hardcore camping, backpacking, right? And the weather, the whole week, by the way, the whole week was below 42 degrees. It was raining, wet, 42 degrees the whole week. The storm stretched all the way from the Carolinas to Texas. And like the story you're talking about is his stuff got wet, my stuff got wet, but my stuff, unlike his, can get wet and it's okay, it's waterproof. So we're sleeping, and he has a wet sleeping bag that obviously is not good anymore. So he's shaking, and he's literally, I think, to the point of death. So if it wasn't for my quick action, I said, hey, buddy, let's get naked in this sleeping bag, and we can use our body heat to warm up each other. So, because I care about you, and I'm willing to put my pride away. So.
That is unbelievable. I guess I would do it if I was dying, but I'd have to be really sure I was dying.
By the way, we weren't like all the way naked. We were like, because the way the sleeping bags work is you actually want to wear less clothes because
I know about that.
Yeah, so that's how the heat is retained, right? So that's why we were in our underwear, or boxers or whatever.
I'm sure he appreciates you telling that story.
Oh, dude, I love embarrassing him. That same week. I like to act like I know nothing. So we went to this camper station, tripper station, forest ranger station, whatever, to check in, right? We have to I don't know, pay $7 and check in and all this. And it's late at night. We got there late at night. We've never been there before. And I'm like the ultimate city guy, so I'm pretending like I've never even been outside. So I'm like, hey, so is there like any wild animals out here? The guy looks at me like, yeah. And so Steven is super embarrassed. He's like red, he's like trying to play. We're like, oh yeah, we know. He's like, yeah, so is there bears? And the guy's like, yeah. So can you feed them? Like, can you pet them? Is that okay? Or like, I see them on TV. They're super friendly, right? And like the guy's like freaking out. He's like, no, do not approach the bears, And then I'm like, oh, you have a gun? Can we have a gun too? Like, can we carry guns around? And the guy's like, no, sir, you're not allowed to have guns in National Park or whatever, I'm like, oh, okay, So, yeah, the guy was super concerned for us.
I bet when y'all walked out of there, they're like, well, there's two guys who are about to be dead. We're about to have an incident report we're going to have to fill out. Right there. Those two guys are gone.
He actually came, he was so concerned, he came to check on us at 1 a.m. And, we had all this cool equipment and we're good, right? But unfortunately, that's when
he saw Soto's spoon and he was like, they're good.
They're good. So I don't know. We're good, bro. We got it.
He saw that titanium spoon and he knew he was dealing with a couple professionals.
The pros out there. Yeah, we passed some interesting stories for sure. We were in Jamaica, right? And we're riding in the back of this truck. Any little bump and we're dead. And we are going down this road, this dirt road. It's at night, and it's just the two of us in the back of the truck. And there's like 8 or 9 guys with machetes. And they asked us to give them a ride. And I'm like offering a ride, like, hey, you guys need a ride? And Steven looks at us like, they have machetes. They can kill us out here. Oh, no, man, they're cool. What are they going to do? Well, kill us? Like, oh, no, they're fine. They're
never travel abroad with you.
Do what?
I said, remind me to never travel abroad with you.
Oh, no, dude, I'm totally safe. I told my friends when we went to Mexico, I'm like, guys, if we get kidnapped, I have to join their side, right? Like, there's no point of us all dying. So I'm just going to pretend I'm selling you guys to them, and I'm going to come and get more Americans to bring over. So, yeah.
Gotta love that. Guys got your back at all times.
Team player right there.
Okay, so you guys rather me die also? I don't understand. You want me to die?
If you ask a bunch of guys with machetes to go for a ride with me and they turn on us, yes, I expect you to be the first one to go.
Okay, yeah, that one I agree. I'm talking about when we get kidnapped.
I'm going to say, look, I get it that we all have to go today. I understand what y'all are here to do, but it was his idea, so I want to watch that. Like, I'm going to watch you do that.
I'm going to watch you do that.
Oh, kidding.
I
would run.
Yes, we got to run. That's funny. Man, Price is just hanging out here. It didn't really take off much. Let's see if it takes off here. So we're looking to break the previous swing high. Are we looking to break the 940 candle BK?
Well, I mean, that's not a. That will be that's not a swing, but yeah.
That's quite a swing, but would that be good enough for you?
Yeah, because of the fact, really, it's because of the 945 candle. Yeah, is that what you said, the 940 or 945?
940.
Yeah, I'd consider it over the 945 being an inside bar candle. Yeah. The price is just waiting for 1030 to happen. Inventories at this point. It's going to move around a little bit, but it's waiting for the inventories to get real direction.
Okay, where do you go to find out all this new stuff?
I go to you can find it anywhere, but I go to forexfactory.com just because I used to trade a lot of forex, and they got a good calendar there that I like. As far as the economic news calendar on there, so I'll leave it on there. I go there. It's called Forex.
And then another question, since I'm full of questions today. In the event we do see a swing down, are y'all going to use 1005 or 940 or 955?
I would probably, me personally, I'd probably use the 955, but probably front run it because of the 1005.
Right.
I don't know if it'll get down that low. It might not get down that low. It might use the 1005. It might use the 1005 because of there's a lot of rejection there from all the way back over to 745 candle. That swing low there. It's right there in the kind of the middle of that zone. So I mean, that could be a good zone actually to bounce for. You're gonna get some rejection out of that. It's just how aggressive do you want to be with it?
Yeah. How much? Yeah.
So, Big K, you're working out every day, yeah? At least Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
You motivated me, by the way. So yesterday I started doing some, in-house training, nothing big.
You what?
And I did some in-house training, did some indoor, just like, squats and stuff. So I'm working out. I'm watching this YouTube video. I know what to do, but it's always good to watch something. I think that kind of helps you, motivates you. So I'm kind of watching this thing, telling you to do lunges and squats and all that.
Right.
And then, man, I was out of breath, dude. I was like, I did a bunch of squats, which squats I can do. I think you know that. But dude, lunges, like, I hate to do lunges, right? And so Steven calls me at that time, and of course I rush to the phone and answer, like, hey buddy, hey, I'm out of breath. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, dude, you all right? Yeah, I was working out. He's like, oh, I'll let you go. No, I was doing lunch, bro. We're good. What's going on? Talk to me, Goose. So, yeah, that's it today. I absolutely abhor doing that. It's zero fun. Squats are fun. I like squats. I can do squats. I'll do squats.
I need surgery on my ankles, so any kind of strenuous leg exercise really messes with me the next day.
Oh, your ankle?
And I have one ankle that's has needed surgery for about 3 years, and then the other one's it's about 5 years behind it.
Yeah.
They need to fuse my, I don't know what bones it is, I'm sure you could tell me, Soto, but they need to fuse my ankle bones together where my ankle can't roll anymore.
There's a simple little exercise to kind of help your ligaments around that area. It's just to stand on one foot. Just while you're at the office or whatever, or you're cooking at the kitchen. Just kind of stay on one foot, and that really helps build some stability around your ankle there.
Yeah. I have no arch to begin with. I'm completely flat-footed. Completely.
Yeah.
So
you're prone to a little what's called plantar fasciitis. Your pes kind of getting some pain in your heel there. So have you ever had that issue?
Much full foot thing. Let it all work. I just hobble around for about the first hour when I wake up.
On one foot?
Yeah, one's really, really bad. The other one's sensitive, but not near like.
Yeah, right at the hill, right at the hill, and then as you walk around a little more, it kind of goes away eventually through the day in the morning.
Yeah, it's all in my ankle. Like it feels like my ankle is so weak it can't support my weight.
Yeah, you might have some plantar fasciitis. That's you might need some heel support, slight elevation, like a little padding. You can buy, so instead of buying a whole cushion for your shoes, you can buy one that's like a half where it's just raising your heel slightly, elevated. That kind of helps release that stress from that. There's the fascia that actually helps out there.
There she goes.
Dang it! Why did it kick me out? Why didn't it trail?
You were in a trade?
Yeah.
Where'd you get in?
Well, thanks for letting us know.
We're talking about plantar fasciitis, and I went in at 3001.25. My zone I was using is the 105. But why didn't it trail? You can't trail.
I don't know. I mean, why? I don't know why it wouldn't have trailed.
I just got 100. I just got 2 points.
I think it bounced so quick that it didn't display on the screen, but it went boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like down, up.
Oh, you think that? Okay. Wow. All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like it flashed real quick. Like because that. Like when it comes in that fast, I mean, you don't really know what, because our eye can't see it move. So for all we know, it went down, up, but it just looked like it went up. You see what I'm saying?
I got 2 full points. I didn't get the point in a tick. I got 2 full points.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You know what? Have you seen this before?
No, I'm trying to think why it would have done that to you.
Because if what he said was correct, had that been the case, it would have been, the second entry would have locked into 1 point, and that's it. But it just went so fast, it just got both entry. So I got in, right? I was using the zone we traded. We talked about the 1005 candle. I traded 1 tick outside of that at 3001.25, and then it shot up real quick, but it took me out at 3002.25.
Was that you, Soto? So unprofessional.
I'll leave it on. I don't put it on vibrate just for that. I know it gets it. Gets into his head. Oh man.
I love it.
I just stopped him cold in his tracks in his whole thought process. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so BK, can you tell me what
I can't tell you. I don't know why that happened.
Okay. All right. Well, in a way, I guess it's good that at least I got 2 points, because I would have not locked. It happened so quick. I don't know if I would have locked in any of the additional, because it went all the way up to 3003.75.
Right.
So it happened so quick. I don't know if I could have locked it in. So at least I got 2 straight points out of it.
Yeah, but that's not a good.
Have you noticed, like, because that was like a flash, right? It was really quick. Do you think it's just the price couldn't, or do you think it was just a kind of problem with the? Well, I guess I can test it out. I'll test it out. I don't want to do it now, but I would test that. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. But yeah, man, I just got right there. Did you guys trade?
No, I didn't get in a trade. Hold on, guys. Hold on just a second.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
I was trying not to be loud. I didn't know if it was on the phone.
That's all right.
Are you on the phone?
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm
I'll
muted.
call you later.
Oh,
Will we hear later?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll check. I'll call you.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
All right. Just now, since you guys like to know what's going on, I'm looking for another trade. I'm looking at price to go into either my zone at the bottom at the 1005 candle demand, or I'm looking for a short trade using my 925 candle for supply.
If I do a short trade, I'm at 0425.
0425. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. Guys, there's just so much there. You can even honestly, yeah, you said 4.25. Yeah, there's so much there. I don't see how that's not going to be a good spot to be respected.
That's the money spot. So
say what?
That's the spot.
I think you're right. You know, that's if I didn't want to get into the trades. I'm going to have to go one tick into the price there before.
Oh gosh, I love so much fun. I'm gonna miss you boys for about 9 days.
Yeah, man. Dude, you're gonna have a blast, bro. We're happy for you.
But I'll be all like, I want to do trade. She's already out. She's like, are you gonna be able to not do it? Because I get like obsessed about stuff. Like when I get into something, I get into something.
That's funny. But you said, you know, if she's asleep and, you know, it's overnight, you know, and you have something else to do but work out, maybe you want to trade, you know?
No, that's exactly right. I booked my stuff last night, so I think we'll be safe. Got someone coming to pick us up from the airport.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I love the Huntsville. Are you flying out of Huntsville?
No, I wanted to, but the wedding's outside Birmingham, so I'm going to Birmingham.
Oh, Huntsville Airport to me is the best. It's the easiest airport.
That's the greatest airport in America.
You never have an issue. You can park. They have places where you can wait for people there, like right at the front. I don't think there's even police.
It is phenomenal. Not only that, but I mean, you can get there, you know, 40 minutes before your flight. Everyone's friendly.
Oh,
just easy through security.
Oh, yeah.
But now, flying out of the big Birmingham Shuttlesworth.
And that's actually not a bad airport either, man. It's super small. And it's,
if you don't get shanked walking in, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, not stop at any gas station prior to going into there, you're fine. Yeah.
And we're Birmingham, Detroit, South Korea, Thailand.
Okay, you're going to be in with the Michiganders up there in Michigan, huh?
Yeah. Detroit's a big international hub. When I fly international, it's mostly out of Detroit.
Yeah.
I guess it's because they're on top of the earth. So
yeah, they go over Iceland, right? You fly over
we'll fly like Canada, nip Alaska, go over the Arctic Circle, and down into Russia to Korea, and then on down. Yeah, you go over the top.
Now listen, hey, be careful going over Russia. Listen. That's when things get real there real quick.
Between the two of y'all, I'm going to be paranoid. Like, have all your affairs in order before you leave. And I'm like, for what? So you never know. He's like, thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. Just tell me, you know, have all your bills paid and your house cleaned up.
I'm ready for the market.
I guarantee you, if that plane goes down, the last thing I'm going to be worried about is my mortgage payment.
Yes.
Oh no, I didn't pay my mortgage.
Oh no. You're like, the plane is going down. You're like, crap, I should have paid my mortgage.
Can y'all get the Wi-Fi on for a second?
Yeah. Get the Wi-Fi.
You gotta get on PennyMac real quick.
PayPal. The worst was I have this friend from Japan. His name is Shuji, and he spoke very little English. He went to the University of Florida, and so I met him through my other friend. And so during spring break, he'll come to Jacksonville, we'll hang out, we have a good time. Well, he's like super awesome and a good guy. Are you guys looking for a trade here?
What's up?
I'm looking for a trade at 0.25.
Big Cat, talk to me, Giz. What do you got?
Yeah. Okay. What's up?
Big Cat,
Hey, I gotta step away for a few minutes, so y'all just take it.
All right, got it.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Bye. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Mitchell, I'm at 4.25. I may front run this. I'm looking at price action. I like volume decrease, good. So I don't know if it's going to get up there right now because you got a lot of resistance up at the look at the 915 candle, 910 candle right there.
Yeah, honestly, if you're going to front run it, go 3.75. Don't go 4. If you're going to go 4, you might as well go 4.25.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
But they cap 0.75. They cap 0. If you were to try to get in there, the uncapped is at 0.50. First uncapped is 0.50. Not that matters. You don't even use order flow anymore.
Yeah, I do not. I'm not using, unfortunately, order flow. So yeah, right now I'm sitting at 3.75, correct?
Yeah, that's a pretty good little spot. I mean, I think you'll get a bounce out of there. I'm still going to stay at 0.25, but I think 0.75 is a pretty good little spot.
Yeah.
Good spot for you.
I think we have, like I said, I think we just have a lot of resistance there at the 910 and 915 candle. And if you look at the bottom of those, so the open and close of those, we got obviously the wick high at 1020 candle. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to take some feel. We're going to see volume increase here. It's going to probably almost double here on this candle from the previous one. So I may be in a little high risk trade here, but I'm up for the week. I got 2.5 points this morning today. So I'm willing and able to take.
Up over 8 for the week, so you're good.
Yeah. Is that what I'm out for the week?
Yeah, you were 5.75 yesterday, 2.5 today, so you're at 8.25.
Yeah, sweet. Yep, it just touched me, but it didn't pick me up. So yeah, my friend Shuji, during spring break, he's like, Chris, you picking me up at airport after spring break? And I'm like, yeah, buddy, man, yeah, no problem, bro. And Jacksonville, the airport's like an hour away, right, from where we live. So it's kind of crazy, but I was like, yeah, no problem. I think it was spring break or whatever. Well, we had 2 weeks off, so whatever holiday we get 2 weeks off, but so one of the things I do is I travel a lot, right? Like I never like just go home. I'll go home for like 2 days and then I'll go somewhere around the country. And so I get a call or a text message from him, like, hey buddy, where are you at? So I'm like, hey man, I forgot where I was. I think it was in California. I was like, I'm in California. He's like, I was like, oh, I'm good. What's up? He's like, you here yet? I'm like, here? Like, no, I'm in California. Where are you at? He's like, I'm at airport. You pick me up? I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, yeah, buddy, listen, you should have given me like the day before text, like, hey, we're still good for tomorrow. So that's my personality. Like, if I ask you to do something, I'm gonna follow up. I know your dad doesn't like this, by the way. Your dad is like, just tell me one time. If I tell you yes, I'll be there. But I'm like a normal guy that's like, okay, I'm gonna follow up because I'm like, I want people to do this with me. So if you ask me to do something, and if I say yes, just like give me a heads up, like a couple days before, like, hey, we're still good for Saturday? Oh yeah, we're still good for Saturday. Hey, okay, cool. And like the day before Saturday, like Friday, hey, we're good for tomorrow? Yep, still good for tomorrow. And then on Saturday morning, we're like, hey, this evening, we're still good? Oh, solid, you know? So I'm in the trade. All right, let's see here.
You're in the trade, man. It's about to be news in 2 seconds.
Why will you wait until I enter the trade?
I've already told you that, man. I had no idea you were jumping in a trade right at news, man.
He told you not to do that.
After I entered the trade, it's like you've been waiting. You're like, you didn't even go anywhere. You just muted. You're like,
yeah,
no,
right.
just gonna get into this trade.
Well,
Great.
you might get good. You might get lucky here.
There's no such thing for me, bro.
Well, sir, I'll admit it. I'm in it with you, bro. But I went higher than you.
Yeah, you did. Here's BK, guys. I'll be back.
Well, I had to go do something, man.
Don't blame it on BK.
Yeah, don't even do it on me, man.
I'm just saying, like,
hours.
hey, guys.
And until BK, he didn't even know what news was.
Yeah.
Well, you two got a point, right?
I did.
You both got
Hey,
points?
guys.
I got mine.
Good.
Not yet.
Good.
Soto went in like
I just got
this.
mine.
Well, I think you got lucky because there was negative news, so you got lucky on that one. Good job. You got lucky, but you made it because it was negative news, so price was going to go down a little bit first, so that's good. That's good for you guys.
I'm trailing here. I'm in the trade. Are you trailing also?
No, I'm
You out already?
no, yeah, I'm out. I don't have, you know what I mean. I can't control. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'll be back. But before I leave, don't forget there's news today. At this time, most likely during the time I'm going to be away, so don't enter any trade. Would have been the appropriate message before you left.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should just hold your hand all day and tell you. Yeah, I mean, I already mentioned this earlier. We already talked about that just a little bit. Not 30 minutes ago. We talked about 10:30 being news. And here you are.
There it is.
Gosh. I bet when you made a bad grade on a test, your professor was just like, look, we got to give him a B because he will bother us so much. Just give him a B.
Okay, so I got a point and a tick. I didn't lock anything else in addition to that. So I got another point and a tick there. So. And the trailing worked that time. It actually trailed. So we're back to working conditions here. So good, man. We're doing good to that, man. We're doing really good. I would, I got something like okay, in political science, there's like gray room. There's no right or wrong answer, really. It's not like math, where there's a right or wrong answer, which, by the way, I also argue in calculus a lot. But like you said, every time they'll mark something wrong, I would go talk to my professor about it. I'd be like, you can't say this is wrong. What is to be right anyways? What is the truth? So, yeah. But thank you, BK. Just a heads up, buddy.
Hey, you're welcome.
He's just done about this. I was telling him about my friend Chuji that, I like constant reminders, even if I agree to pick you up at the airport, just don't tell me one time and then, go a whole week without letting me know anything.
Why? That means you really don't care. And if you tell somebody you're going to do something, then that means you do something and you mark it on the calendar. You don't have to be reminded multiple times, do you? Why should you have to be reminded multiple times?
This is life lessons for Soto. He's growing in his personality as much as he is in his training.
BK, I just enjoy, and I know. Okay, so first of all, your dad Mitch, hates that. He's like, no, man, you just tell me one time. If I tell you yes, I'll be there. I'm like, okay, take it easy, Chief.
That's how most responsible people are. Just so you know that.
That's a standard adult right.
All I'm asking is for like a follow-up text message, like 2 days before, like, hey, bro, we're still good for Saturday.
How about you do the follow-up and you put the reminder in your phone to remind you every day that you have to do that? You can do that. That's acceptable.
Yeah, I think that would be good that you initiate that question. Once somebody already told you they were going to do that, then maybe you would respond to them and ask, hey, are we still on?
Sure.
But don't expect the person that...
But if a man tells you that he's going to fly in somewhere, chances are he's going to fly there.
Right. I feel so bad.
Planes aren't like subways. You don't just like roll up to the airport and be like, well, I feel like going to Jacksonville today.
Yeah, I felt so bad.
Maybe you did. I don't know. I've never done that.
He spoke so little English, and all he said was, hey, bro, where you at? And I'm like, I'm in California. What's up? And he's like, I'm at airport. You pick me up? I'm like, crap. I'm gonna have somebody pick you up in about an hour. So, which I did. I had my friend pick him up. Everything was perfect. He's good.
Good job. Way to put it off on your friend.
Well, I was out of town. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, and I totally. The problem is now. This is before I used the calendar on iPhones, but dude, I'm like OCD. Like if I have to do something, I'll put it on my calendar, and I have like constant reminders throughout the week. Like, hey, 2 days you got to do this, and and 1 day you got this. 10 hours you got this, 5 hours you got this. Because I would because if you call me right now, like in 2 hours I got to go do something. But if you give me a call right now and say, hey, let's go play golf, this is my response. Okay, great, I'm ready, let's go. And then I'll forget about what I had to do in 2 hours. And then in 2 hours will come by and I'm like, crap, I'm supposed to be at my friend's court appearance, testifying on his behalf. So, crap. So, yeah.
It'll come.
I know. I'm too much.
I don't know. The guy's 30-something years old. When's it gonna come?
That's true. That's true.
It's not like it's my 9-year-old or 14-year-old I'm talking to.
I'm just too much in the moment. Like I appreciate the moment too much. That's what it is. I live in the moment. I appreciate you guys right now. You guys are my priority right now. Okay. So. That's my downfall. It's I care.
Gotcha.
That's it.
That's all right.
You have taken a good butt chewing from my mother.
Oh, dude, my
I did
mom.
that one time to a friend. It would be like, all right, yeah. She would have me write them thank you note or apology notes, paying for their plane tickets, booking them a resort somewhere to apologize.
Yes. Yeah.
That kid. If I ever did anything messed up when I was young, and she'd take me to their house, I'd have to go knock on their door or apologize to their parents, their grandparents.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt, but I get in trouble when I don't interrupt.
You're in a trade. I know. You went in at 2.5 again.
No. I went at 30.04, 4.5. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You got in at 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Yes.
Yeah, it uncapped.
That's 4.5.
Okay, see, here we go. It's the language barrier. You guys make fun of me.
Your learning disability. I forgot. About your learning disability. Yeah.
So everyone's in that trade?
No, I'm not in it.
Are you in the trade, Mitchell?
No.
Okay.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Good one for you, but I've already popped that zone, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep beating it up.
Yeah.
Once the zone gives me one, I feel like it's done all it needs to do.
So she just gave you your point there, right, Soto?
Yeah, I got the point, and I'm trailing. Correct.
Okay. Good.
Trailing everything.
I know nothing else in life. I'm going to lock it in right here, actually.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to go down, so I locked in at 1 point and a quarter, so an additional point and a quarter.
I definitely think.
So
I feel like it is going to go down at least another point.
I think it's in a good position to go down. I mean, why would it not go down?
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to go down.
Here's where I get yelled at for doing what I thought was the right thing.
Look at there.
That's good. That's all you had to say. I felt was the right thing, so I did that. Nobody can argue with that.
Yeah.
So no, I just like I said, I just want to lock it in. So I got two.
Lock it in and watch it go down.
Ooh, I want to jump in right here. I want to be Mitchell's chase the prize.
Hey, I only changed one day, and that was because I did not have my trailer set up, so I did not want to miss out on all the fun.
Yeah, there you go.
So yes, I triggered 8 times.
Dude, today's been a good man. Today's been a really good day.
What are you up today? 6 points, you said?
Let's see. What did I just say, Mitchell?
You said 2.5.
So now I just got another 2.25.
You're 4.75. You still got to make a one more to tie yesterday.
Yeah, we will right here, buddy.
I'm just really respecting our method, and I've got my 1 point. So.
There you go. That's good.
I'm following all the rules, by the way. So you know.
Are you?
I am. Yeah.
That was technically a rule follow because it was only the second entry into the into the zone. So
Wait, I would argue that the you're saying that the 1035 actually got into the zone?
I'm saying that was the first rejection out of the zone. Yeah, that's the first rejection.
Yeah.
It didn't go into it, but it rejected off of it.
Are you talking about 1035 or the?
No, I'm talking about 1035. The 1040s actually went into the zone.
Okay, right. And that's well, I went very high on that. I went at 3004.5.
Right.
You saying I should have not taken that, or that's too risky?
He says it's a good trade.
It was a good trade, man.
It's a good trade. Calm down.
Yeah, he's looking to get into an argument here, and we're trying to just tell him it was a good job.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. I just heard.
Well, we said it 3 times.
I thought you said it was not a good trade. So I'm like, okay, wait, what happened? Okay, all right. Thank you.
That's good. It was an excellent trade.
Thank you.
I thought about writing about it later. How good it was.
Yeah. Did you trade there, or did you put a trade in?
No,
pick out?
I didn't put one in there. I was thinking about it, but I just didn't do it.
Sure. Okay. I'm going to write a book about the art of trading.
You need to.
I've thought about it 2 months. When do I write a book?
Oh,
Yeah.
I would like to write a book. I have a lot of thoughts in my head, but man, I can't get them out to paper.
A lot of voices in my head.
I'm serious. It would make a great book, but I just can't make my arm write it down.
Oh, you can get a ghostwriter. Me with him, just kind of tell him everything, and they can write it.
That's true. I could do that.
I can give you Donald Trump's ghostwriter for Art of the Deal. I got his contact info.
The Art of the Deal. I read that. Y'all got any good book recommendations?
Yeah, man. What are you into?
Anything but fantasy stuff, man. I don't really get into fantasy.
Yeah, I don't do fantasy. So you want prehistory, guns?
Like history, I really like. I like true stories of just. Like the guy that, like the American Made, the guy that I don't know. I don't want y'all to think I'm some kind of like weirdo, like vigilante outlaw, but like I like stories about drug runners and gun runners and people that do kind of push the system and end up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but it could even be fiction.
Okay.
I like fiction. I like autobiography. I'll read anything pretty much besides fantasy. Now I don't.
Yeah, I don't do fantasy.
It doesn't hold my attention. I have nothing wrong with it. I mean, I think it's great. A lot of people love it, but it just doesn't keep me for 300 pages.
Sure. Have you? I would suggest Team of Rivals.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think especially you're in the private sector there. I think that would be beneficial for you. There's a prehistory book I really enjoy. It's a little tough reading in some chapters. It's a little slow, but overall, it's probably one of the most beneficial books I've ever read in my lifetime. It's called Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jerry Diamond. And it talks about how why one people have a benefit and had an advantage over another people during the same time frame. So why did the Europeans and the Spanish, why would they have such advanced technology compared to the Native Americans? Why would the natives still doing hunting and gathering and slowly moving to farming when you already have a centralized government in other countries? So it was I thought very cool, and I learned a lot.
I like that.
Yeah,
I read a lot of John Grisham too.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I just read when I get bored.
Good. Now, BK, if it goes back into our zone, will you consider a second trade? And just because we got a lot of money up there, and our supply zone at maybe 30.05 flat?
I won't. I'm not. I think that might be a good spot to re-enter it if price action gives you the opportunity, and everything lines up. I think that's not a bad spot right there at all. But I won't do it though. I just am not going to go back into that.
All right.
But I don't think it's a bad. That's a good price if you were going to go back in there, and if everything else met the criteria, I think that's a good spot.
I know what you would like, Mitchell. This actually influenced policy. This book literally influenced policy. It's called The Great Influenza. President Bush read it, and after reading it, he increased funding to the CDC. So that was really interesting, I think.
All right, I read that one down too. I'll probably buy 4 or 5 books before I go.
Yeah.
I read this book last time. I was traveling, and it was a fiction novel. Sandra Brown wrote it. Tailspin was the name of it. It was about a pilot. And man, it wasn't one of those like romance novels, but it had like some intense scenes in it. And like, I don't know, it's so weird because you're reading, but because you're sitting next to people, you get uncomfortable. It's like the whole time I'm reading it on the plane, I'm like reading it as if I'm looking at a Playboy magazine, and at the same time I'm not. I'm like, I don't know why I'm acting like this. It's my book, and it's just words. Made me very uncomfortable. So I didn't care for that.
That's funny. Yeah. If you like kind of end of the world scenarios, this other book actually influenced policy as well. It was actually brought up to the Joint Chief of Staff and different congressmen and senators was influenced by this in our military. It's called One Second After. And there's actually 3 books. So it's 1 second after, The Final Day, and 1 year later, 1 year after.
Did y'all ever read those Left Behind novels back in the day?
I did not, no.
About
I know what you're talking about, but I've not read them.
About the rapture and all. They were really good. Kind of freaky.
Yeah. But yeah, the one second after, dude, it's highly recommended. And the cool thing is, it's all real, even though it's, the book in itself is fiction, right? Of the events. It's all things that actually really happened in real life. and it talks about electromagnetic pulse, EMP. So it's really cool. So it talks about an EMP attack on the United States.
I wrote that one down too. Sorry about that. I'll mute you for a second while we go shrink wrap.
All right, I'm looking to trade, by the way, guys. Big guy, you looking for a trade over here?
Not right now. I'm doing something else at the moment. But
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that.
no, that's all right.
Sorry, I've been talking. I'm at 1.25 if I'm going to trade out of here, so
Where are you trading at?
1.25.
All right, I'm with you at 1.25. This is interesting. I was thinking of going a little deeper, but I'm okay going there.
Yeah, we could pull it down if you want to. I'm not opposed to that.
Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna pull it down a tick.
All right. I'm going to stay.
Didn't get us, did it?
It did not pick me up now.
I'm gonna, if it pops up anymore, I'm taking my trade out.
Yeah, if it goes, see what happens here. I might go a
If it
little
runs this wick, I'll stay in, but if it pops a wick up top anymore, I'm gonna come out.
All right.
If it runs the wick down, I'll stay in.
Yeah, I'm. Are you a 1 flat or 1.25?
2.5.
I'm at 0.5, 2.5 also. I think it's going to go deeper into the zone here. You got a lot of injected.
I'm actually thinking like a whole point lower than where we're at wouldn't be a bad call either.
Yeah. Here.
But I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Lot of rejection right there.
Yeah, not too much hesitation. Again,
I'm in.
Yeah, yep, I'm in the trader. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Like I said, I'm up for the week, planning, like I'm taking some additional risk here, no problem.
Where'd y'all get in at?
2.5, 1.25.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you trade for BK?
No, huh?
She just like, yeah, I will never go there. Why will you guys go?
I was typing an email.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's gonna, I think, push in a little deeper into the zone. It may go down. It may go right down, unfortunately, right to where we are and turn around. I think it's going to go right down up to maybe 0.25 and turn around. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's where I was. That was my second position. Was 3,000.25.
Yeah.
But I stuck with this. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, volume looks good. I expect some rejection out of here.
Rejecting, but I think we just were too risky to get the point. Not necessarily that we would get, but like
To get into the trade, right? And that's okay. You know, again, we decided to go there. We'll stick to the game plan.
yeah.
But yeah. Again, we both kind of felt that we should have gone a little deeper. So maybe we need to start kind of listening to our gut feeling. But that's all right, man. We're in the trade. Let's see what happens.
It doesn't know what it wants.
No, we got less than a minute here. Volume's slightly increasing. I think we're okay. I think we're gonna get some rejection out of this. I don't know if it'll be enough.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Keep going. Keep going. Don't go down there.
I bet if we lose this, I bet we're losing by 1 tick if we lose. Because I think we'll go right to that point 25.
Right.
Literally a whole point right below where we were, like you said. So let's see if we turn around here.
I would like it to close 1 tick higher than it is right now.
Yeah, we got 7 seconds here. Let's see if it'll close. If we can get it to close, like you said, at least break even. Yeah, I did it. Expect low rejection here. Let's see if it goes up first.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Keep going, 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 keep going.
Yeah, I don't know if I have.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm about to close this joker out if you don't cooperate. We're at 2 ticks of profit right now. I need her to keep pushing.
How many points you got today?
1. Push.
It doesn't break it here.
It is just throwing orders up there.
There it is. There it is. Come on. Come on. Get up there.
Keep going. All right, one more, my good friend.
Get up there. Come on. BK enjoys us being in
y'all begging, yeah, I love to hear y'all begging and talking to it. That's good.
Oh, dude, I'm on the phone right now with freaking the Chicago market over here, telling us it's moving up.
I hear you. I like it.
If it pops back up there, I may close mine out just because now it's making a big wick, and I don't like that.
Right. So I've already locked in. I locked in actually.
You should be out now, so all right.
No, it took one. So when it did,
It went to 1, but it didn't fill it.
Yeah. So it took out. It took me out on. It took out my first point. Okay, now it just took me a second one out.
Yeah, okay.
So I made $15 here.
You closed out.
It did it by itself. So what it did is, well, I moved. Okay, so it took my first point out of 1 tick profit, and so it's kind of weird. My first one it took out a 1 point profit, but my second point that I never actually got my second point, right? And so I moved my second one to break even. Does that make sense, PK? What I just said?
No. Not to me.
Okay, so it didn't go the full 5 ticks, right?
Right, so it went 4 ticks in, and it should have moved your trailing stop. Both positions should have been moved into plus 1 tick.
No, it only moved the 1 in. So I manually moved the second one.
Okay.
So maybe we have to look at the settings here when we get done.
Yeah, since it didn't take your profit target out, it only moved the trailing stop because you only got your trailing stop's only for 1 position.
Yeah.
It should have been for both positions. Yeah.
So yeah, I only made a tick, which was good because I didn't break the point. And again, I was just a little too high in price. I needed to just go down a little bit. No big deal.
Meanwhile, we're still in the trade.
You're still in? Okay, so did it not move your profit stop?
I'm not trading today, bro.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right.
I'm on the real deal.
Yeah.
Making some snorkeling classes.
Stop.
There you go.
That's funny.
Snorkeling.
So BK, obviously looking after the fact, right? Obviously, I needed to go a little deeper into the zone. Do you disagree? Should I have not gone? Was my trip position okay, or you would have said no, Soto, you needed to go a little deeper? Here's why. The reason I went one tick outside the area is if you look at the close of 940, you got the open of 945, you got the wick high of 1005. I just felt, and then the wick low of 1020, I felt like that was a good position to go into.
Yeah, at a 1 1/4, I see. That's where you went in at 1 1/4.
Yes, sorry, yeah, 1.25. Yes.
I mean, it's definitely a little bit higher risk just because it's not really in a oh, it is actually. Yeah, it is. It's okay. You're basing off of the 10-15 candle, right?
10:05 candle.
Oh, so you're going off the 10:05 candle, okay.
Yeah.
So you front run the 10:05 zones, what you did, because of the, yeah.
Exactly. Right, so you got the overlap. So the way I looked at it is you got the 10:15 and 10:05 candle, they're overlapping there. So I went one tick over the overlapping, which I felt gave us good, would have given us good rejection out of that area. So that's my mindset. I'm just kind of talking out loud to tell you what I was thinking, and if I missed something, I don't care whether I won or lost. In this case, I broke, got a tick out.
Sure.
But I used to be sure for my learning purposes and also for the channel, was my reasoning incorrect, or did I miss something, or did I work too hard to look at something, or maybe something I should have not looked at even at all.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's a higher risk trade for sure, just because it's not per the method, it's not a defined zone. We knew that, but it is a little hidden zone there. Obviously, it's just it's not completely engulfed, so it's a little more aggressive trade. My only concern would have been price action coming into that trade. I mean, we got long candles coming in with a lot of rejection wick up top.
Yeah.
So that would have been a concern for me trying to front run it. The front run I think is the only issue on that right there, because of the price action of the candles coming in. There's nothing showing that they were going to slow down right there.
Right. And we said that, like literally right before we got the trade, we were like, hey, we should be a point lower.
We did. Yeah, and again, going back to our gut feeling, which I think I told you because this morning I should have followed it, and I did it, and again this today. I would have gone down to 1 or 2 ticks, and obviously that would have paid off a little better. But okay, that's all right.
I think that's going to come with time, man. Just trusting yourself and not having to. Because right now you're feeling like you're having to get into every trade. You're having to get into a lot of trades, or you're wanting to get into a lot of trades. And so you're justifying why you would go in somewhere,
Right.
versus saying, okay, my gut's telling me I should wait a little bit deeper, wait a little bit longer, but I want to get into this trade because I like the idea of front running. I've noticed that ever since I've introduced that. I know you kind of like the idea of it.
That's the best thing you told me after telling me about trading.
Yeah, so I noticed you like the front run and everything. And that's okay in the right positions. I just don't think this was the right position to do that, but.
And that's what I need to, like you said, I need to work on that as I mature in my trading, is to realize front running is fine. There's an appropriate time to do it. It's not every time. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Work on that.
I'm going to tell you, front running is going to work more often when it's in a really defined zone. Okay? When it's an obvious zone, I think you're going to find front running is going to work more often than not. I mean, you're going to, in a zone like this that you took a trade on, you're going to get a bounce out of it. I mean, we know that just because of the supply and demand and what what moves the market. We know that you're going to get a bounce, but finding the right top place to get in there is going to be harder than it is in a really defined zone, okay, that's obvious and just jumps out at you. We know that's the best position to get in on a front run because it's going to bounce off the bottom part of that zone or the top part of that zone because it's obvious. But this, where they're hitting a little more and you're trying to create the zone there, to kind of front run that's a little higher risk, okay? So
that makes perfect sense. And like you said, I should have, and even Mitchell called it out. And again, I think it's the mentality of, you talk yourself into a position and you're trying to find a reason to stay there rather than listening to all the signs, right? Price action alone on the 1050 candle should have said, hey, let's go a little deeper. Let's see what happens in the next candle. So good. I think that helped me mentally, just kind of talking. I'm not upset at the trade. I'm happy. I'm happy because I rejected, right? I was in the right area, wrong, happened to be just slightly in the wrong spot. And so, and again, I knew that was a little high risk. Since I even said it, I'm out for the week, and I'm comfortable taking, some additional trades. I think one of the things you noticed, I don't know if you noticed 2 weeks ago, I was a little too conservative, right? And I think for me is not having the fear factor of pulling the trigger. It's okay to. I guess for me, it's either I have two extremes, right? I'm either higher risk or I'm too conservative that I end up missing too many trades. And I think this week's an example of this is more my personality where I feel more comfortable trading. Does that make sense?
Sure. You just have to find your happy medium in there and kind of find where you're going to have the best opportunity. Just kind of find where you're comfortable at and be willing to, like I said, just find the happy medium there. So,
I lost it, boys.
Yeah, as I say, you're out now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You were still in that trade?
Yeah. I should have closed it out when I said I was going to, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So what do you know?
All right.
Lessons learned.
Yeah, lessons learned every day, right? So, all right. Well, it's already it's 11:06 now. Everybody's done with trade thus far. So let's kind of do a count here, so I can kind of update the spreadsheet.
All right.
So I lost 1.5. So I'm down 1.5 today. Soto, Mitch is even. Right.
Yeah.
And then Soto, how many points do you make, Soto?
So back. Let me be an example today for our viewers. That goes back to make your point and go work, go home, go do whatever you want to do, go play. Don't just keep doing it.
Yeah, that's a good. I'm glad you pointed that out. That's good. If you want to continue to trade, man, go to demo.
Right, exactly.
You gotta get your fix into it. Make your point live, and then go to demo.
Yeah. Or and I don't know if this is appropriate, BK, so please stop me if I'm incorrect. But I guess the way I look at it is I've met my goal, whatever, you can meet, if you made your goals on Monday or you met it on Friday, if you meet your goal and you have an additional, 2 points to play with, and you feel comfortable, okay, then I'm going to stay in and trade, and if I lose those 2, I still meet my goals for the week and I'm done. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything wrong with that at all. Yeah.
So that's
ultimately you want no way around it. Ultimately, you want to be positive for the 3 points for the week. If you can make 1 point a day, that's even better. That's our challenge here is to net 1 point a day. But we know some days it's not going to be that way. But if we can net 3 points for the week, then if you're up 3 points for the week and you still got a couple days of trading left, then that's where you're going to have to be either very careful with it, or or just take the absolute best possible opportunities that set up and don't take higher risk trades. I don't have a problem with taking the best possibility setups when they come up, but that just means you're gonna have to be more disciplined and control when you take a trade. Because you're wanting to protect that profit and stay on target with your compounding, so you can't just throw it away by taking risky trades because we want to trade,
Sure. Right. And I think, yeah. And like I said, I think it was Monday or yesterday or whatever, I met my goals for the week, and I had a surplus, and that allowed, my personality and the way I look at things, that allowed for me to be able to take some additional trades, not necessarily bad trades, but good trades, but more trades than, had I only made, 1 or 2 points for my week. So kind of like what Metro just said, get your point and walk. But if you got, you made your goals, I'm okay with, like I said, I got today I made 5.5 net points positive. I lost 1 time. but in some of those I only got one tick, right? So on profit.
Yeah.
So so I had one loss, which is the one we did, Big Captain, the one you and I lost.
The one we both lost.
But I made 5.5. So I took 6.5 trades. I made 5.5
Good.
points.
Okay. Well, good. Well, I'm going to update the spreadsheet right here. From the individual standpoint, the very first trade of the day was taken by you, and you won that. So from an individual taking 1 point and walking, you got your point again today, as reflects right here on the spreadsheet, and you're up $407.20. So not even a month into it, you've made 50, almost you're 40% up on your account. If you're doing it 1 point and walking, right? 1 point, so you can tell compounding is going to start adding up here. So we're going to start seeing how important that 1 point a day is. All right, so good job getting that. So let's go to the team now. Let me put that in here, 918. All right, one contract. So we had total, how many points winners today? We had 6.5, 7.5 point winners, 7.5.
So
and we had
I had
2
5
losers. No, I had 1, 2, 3, 3.5 loss. Okay. So we still net 4 points for the day, which was great as a team. So good job there. So we're up to 27, 52, 40 as a team. So you're up $1,752 as a team. So that's good. All right, so there's the live spreadsheet from the individual standpoint. We made our 1 point today and counted that, so we're up $1,407. Our account's up to $1,407, up $407. And on the team, we're up to $2,752 in the account, so 142 net profit today.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, so good job, guys, and I mean that's a good day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to just to do it live here, just to be sure. So I made gross, I had 275, right?
Okay.
So I divided that by 50. That's what gave me 5.5.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calculating. I guess how many points I got, because even though I traded more than that on some of them, I only locked in a tick, right?
Right.
So.
Right.
So, anyways, I just want to be sure I'm doing that right. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, no, you're correct.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so there's a spreadsheet, guys. So like I said, we'll keep on this channel. We'll keep this thing going live. That way you can kind of see the account grow through its ups and downs. We're not going to hide anything here because we put our losses in. As you can see, we have multiple losses here on the net points for the individual, but we have net profit as well going. So you can see from the overall standpoint, we're up. So we're not going to hide and not put in our losses. We're going to put them. And we have a day we lost 7 points, man. That's just part of it. We happened to make 8 points, which is good, but we're going to put in our losses as well as our winners. So we're not going to hide anything. We're going to be very transparent here on what can happen. And we're taking the trades in real time, so you're seeing it. And we're calling them out. So we're not doing anything after the fact. You're seeing it happen in real time. So the method works. We just have to get better and be more patient with the method, but it does work. Okay, so I hope you guys will join in, follow us, and become part of the team here at Titan Futures. So want to really appreciate your time today, and guys, good job again, and I guess we'll do it again in the morning, huh?
Yep, my last day. I will see y'all tomorrow.
That's your last day. All right, that's your last day tomorrow. All right, Mitchell. We'll talk to you in the morning, man.
See you.
All right, guys. Good job.
You've been listening and watching the Titan Futures 1 Point a Day Challenge. Live stream. Remember, we're live daily, 9 to 11, and BK, Soto, and Mitchell are here to help. The Titan Futures 1 Day Point a Day Challenge, where anyone can learn how to day trade the futures market. Till next time.